I think we have all been there where we go shopping and we see the cutest top, but then we wonder how are we going to actually wear that? This is a trap that my daughter fell into when she went to the mall with her friends, and she got this adorable top. But she came home and she needed something to cover up her shoulders. So I'm Vanessa with Ellie and Mac, and we're solving life's little problems with the Chelsea Bolero. I have done this so many times when I was younger, finding something that I absolutely loved, but then realizing that I was not quite comfortable in it. And this is something that my daughter has found with this top. So instead of layering it underneath a jean jacket that's too hot right now, or trying to find a shirt that went perfect underneath it, she decided the Chelsea Bolero would be perfect. And as luck would have it, I had 10 minutes to spare, and I could make this adorable little sweater to go over this. Now, this Chelsea Bolero is such a great pattern. It has three different length options, two different sleeves. You can either face it to make it look extra nice, or you can do a band and make it a little oversized for just like the perfect sweater. I love making this, but today I wanted to try making a short sleeve banded version for this particular top. And I'm so excited about this because not only is it a quick sew, it takes very little fabric and you can sew it all up within 10 minutes and a serger. This is the perfect top.
So, first off, I started by measuring my daughter. And so she is an extra small and she wanted the crop version. I love these little boleros. They are perfect if you get cold when you go into stores. You can easily have something on that is not going to get too chilled, but you're also not going to get too hot in the heat. And the cropped version is extra nice. My daughter wanted to show as much of her cute little shirt as possible, so that was another reason for this. I love the dolman sleeves. Anytime there's a dolman, I'm just excited about it. Now I'm going to be measuring the sleeve portion of my pattern, as you can see right here. So it's 7 3/4 for the back, and then I'm going to be measuring the front, and that's going to be a little bit under 6 inches. So in total, I have 13 3/4 inches, and I need to have bands. Now I want to have my bands have an 80% stretch, and so I'm going to be cutting them the same width as the bands going around the outside of my sweater, but I will only be cutting them 11 inches. This is so the bands stay right where I want them to be. But I suggest you measure your biceps too, because I don't like to have things tight on my arms right there. And so measure your biceps and make sure that it's not going to be too tight and that it's going to have enough stretch. You could even go to like a 90% stretch, cutting this more at the 12 inches instead of the 11 inches. And then I cut bands to go all the way around the sweater. Now, this literally takes 10 minutes to sew up. And you only need a serger, but you definitely can use your sewing machine as well. And we're just going to clip together as much as we can before we head over to my sewing machine or serger. And this is just really inexpensive sweater knit. It's very sheer and it's just perfect for this application. Sometimes we don't know what to do with these thin sweater knits. So this is just the perfect place to use it. So I'm going to be clipping along my shoulders first, and then I'm going to be coming down the side. And just by clipping these 4 areas that I'm going to sew, it's just going to take a little less time from running back and forth because my staging area is a little bit further away than my serger is. So this does cut down on some time if you just clip everything together at the same time and then just run over and get all of these serged. So once you have everything clipped together and lining up perfectly, you can take it over to your serger. So we're going to be starting with those shoulder seams, and this fabric, usually I would not want to wear this in the winter at all. I think it's too sheer to wear on its own. And then even with the darker colors of winter, I really don't want to have something so thin over them, and I just feel like it does not look nice. But with this really nice thin fabric of the cami that she has, both of these fabrics are going to work together perfectly. And it has like that Y2K look. And these used to be called Shrugs back in the day. I remember having them and I just really like them. They're really adorable. So I'm excited to see these kind of come back into fashion. And, they were just really useful for applications just like this. I think that it's great, especially when you have teens, to give them a little bit more coverage with some of the options that's at the store. Sometimes they find things and it is adorable, but then they get home and they realize they can't wear their normal bras underneath it, and it's just no longer comfortable to wear it out. And so this is what I really like about this, is because my daughter is just like me. She wants to wear her normal bra. So here are those bands, and so we're going to be folding it with right sides out, and then you're going to be folding the other side right sides over. And then that's going to give you the band that you only have to serge once. So just always remember your right sides fold over together, and then you can serge it. And then when you take it out, here, this might be a little bit easier to see. So here's my right sides up, and you fold it in half. And then you're going to take the other side, and then with the right sides folding over the other right side, so bad sides up. My daughter loves it when I say good sides and bad sides. So good sides together, bad sides up. Then you can serge it. For some reason, that's easier for her to remember which side is that. So here we have it almost done. And as you can tell, that did not take any time whatsoever. So here's our bands for our little armholes, and that outside just rolls right over. And so you want to make sure that that side that's folded over and serged is at the bottom, not the top. Sometimes with dolmans, it's really easy to get confused on which side's your top and your bottom. And we're just going to just clip those lines together, so the serge lines where it's folded, as well as the serge lines of the side seams. And then you want to find the halfway point. Now, when we are cutting, we know that the front side is shorter than the back side. So the middle part of the armband is going to be a little bit set back onto the shoulders because there is that difference. And then once you have both sides clipped on just like this, we're going to fold over the Chelsea Bolero, and we're going to find the center seam both at the top and at the bottom. And I like to mark those with clips. And this way I can remember where the center is. And I've already actually sewed together my band with the right sides together. You can see the serge there. And then you just fold that in half. And where you have them fold in half, one seam goes at that top clip and the other seam goes at the back clip. And then you're just going to evenly clip this all the way around. And I love the curved of this sweater. I just think that it's really cute. It kind of gives that cocoon cardi vibe. And yeah, and I love that it has the band. The facing is really nice too, but when you're pairing it with something casual, I like having the band. The hardest part with this fabric is it wants to roll. So every time I try to fold it in half, it starts rolling up again. So I like that this is a thicker band because it's a little bit easier to handle some of that rolly fabric. When you have a thicker band, you can see how nice that rolls up. This would make it really hard for a t-shirt that has the smaller bands, but it actually worked out really well with this fabric, with this pattern. So sometimes if you have inexpensive fabric, you just need to find the right pattern. It's not that the fabric is useless. And this fabric right here, yeah, it rolls and it's thin, but it ended up being perfect for this. So, if you have some of this in your stash, I would definitely suggest getting this pattern. I think it's really beautiful with the bishop sleeves, and it really is one of those all-season patterns. And if you don't want to do a band, there are options. So you can just roll the sleeves and hem it. But as you can see, that fabric is so rolly, it just takes me a second to adjust it. But the end results are perfect. And adding the bands onto the arm side is just really easy as well. It's just going to be like adding a neckband on, just exactly like adding a neckband on. But again, I had to deal with that little bit of the rolly fabric. I just try to make sure everything's lined up and use my finger to smooth it out before it goes to the serger. Just remember that while you're adjusting, take your foot off the pedal and make sure that you keep your eyes out for your fingers so you don't go over them. And that's it. We made it. 10 minutes tops, and you have the perfect solution for those cute little camis. So here you can see it completed on the mannequin. And yeah, that thin fabric, I just think it looks so nice and just like almost like gauze on top of this. And so it really is perfect with just giving a little bit of coverage and just making everyone feel a little bit more comfortable in their clothes. And yeah, I'm excited that I was able to find such a quick and easy solution.
I love how this turned out. It's so cute. I love the little bands, and with it being a dolman, I just think it's adorable. There's so many options with this, and I'm so excited to have one more option. And I'll definitely be making some of these for myself. It was such a quick sew, and it's so easy. I absolutely love this Chelsea Bolero. I definitely suggest everyone who has teens get it. Thank you so much for watching. A like and subscribe would be great, but we just wish you happy sewing. We're just glad to have you here in our community. Thank you again, and I'll catch you next time.